June was a movie, basically. I watched 13 movies in the month of June, which is genuinely surprising because I am always busy, but I guess never too busy for a movie. My name's Elisa. If you've never met me, my name's Elisa, and welcome back. I'm not going to spoil any of these 13 movies that I'm going to break down to you guys, rest assured. But I do want to stop for a quick commercial break before we get into it. Hi, it's me, authorpreneur Elisa Carradine, and I wanted to tell you guys about the new book I wrote and published 2 weeks ago. If We Get Through This Trip is about a woman named Priscilla who goes on a family trip with her long-term boyfriend, Chase. Chase is getting on to her about wanting to take the relationship to the next level, and she is not ready, and she cannot figure out for the life of her why she's not ready. So she decides to use the time on the family trip to understand her feelings around why she can't be open to receiving the love her boyfriend wants to give her. And on that trip, she finds out a little bit more than she bargained for. This is a story about self-love. It's about family. It's about relationships. It's about intuition. It's about mirrors. And it's a story that is linked in the description below. Thank you. Back to you, Elisa. Thanks, Elisa Carradine. Movie number 1. Furiosa. Furiosa. A Mad Max Saga. So I'm going to keep it brief because I made a video about this already and I'm going to put it right here. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. Really love Chris Hemsworth's work. Oof. But this was a revenge story. To be honest, I didn't feel the revenge side of things until about halfway through the story. Nonetheless, I was entertained. The chapters threw me off on the first watch. But after seeing Kinds of Kindness, I'm starting to think this could be a Hollywood pattern. Either way, I love the Mad Max universe and I feel like I was pulled in. I feel like they put on a show for me and I rate it a 7.9 out of 10. Movie number 2, Babes. Oh my god, this was actually one of my favorite movies that I watched in June, like holy FNS. First of all, this is a movie about soulmates, but friendship soulmates, and I personally, at this point in my life, I want to see more movies like that. Friendships are just, they mean so much to me, and they're changing so much, and I loved seeing this. I loved going on this journey. I love what these two women are doing. This was a good-ass movie. Pamela Adlon, literally, I love anything that she does. She directed this movie down. The writing was phenomenal. The comedy was top tier, and it was weaved in so naturally. I rated this movie a 9.5 out of 10. I would go see it today if I could. I don't know. When it comes on streaming, I urge everybody to go see Babes. Genuinely one of my favorite movies of the whole year. No cap. Movie number 3. Hitman. This one also genuinely surprised me. Glenn Powell is having a moment. I love that so much for him. Adria, this was my first time seeing her work, but I absolutely loved the way that she embodied her character. This one was a pleasant surprise. A movie about a fake hitman / kind of fake cop and embodying these actors that he was portraying as if he was some type of hitman. Like the levels range. And then, of course, there was romance in there, so I just had to bump it up a little bit. I'm gonna rate this movie an 8.3 out of 10. Genuinely, I recommend this one. Movie number 4, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Okay, this movie has basically been on my radar since it came out, and I never got the chance to see it. I was scrolling on a Friday night on Netflix, and I saw that it was on there, and I was like, you know what? I really like Amandla. Let's see what she's talking about. Pete Davidson is in here, also Rachel Sennott. I hope I pronounced that right. Also, Rachel's in it. Like, I'm just like, okay, this seems like a fun movie. And it was a fun movie. It was about a group of young adult women running around with slightly less young men, which is really on brand, actually, for Gen Z. But I was pleasantly surprised. This movie was really good. The whole time I just couldn't stop thinking, like, damn, is death contagious? This is an 8 out of 10. This was a good movie. Great Pride Month watch. I recommend it. Movie number 5. I watch this movie quarterly and I am never going to stop to the last of my days. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad and Angie. If you want to talk about getting sucked into a universe, this movie sucks me into their universe. They're really John and Jane. They're really John and Jane. Obviously, a 10 out of 10. It's about romance. It's about action. It shows us the ebbs and the flows of a marriage in one of my favorite careers to watch on screen, The Assassin. Like, damn, it can't be replicated. It literally cannot. And now, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the show, I love that they just went a different direction entirely, because Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie, cannot be replicated. I made a video about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the show, and I'm going to link it right here. Amazing show. But this movie, classic. It is a Hall of Famer. Movie number 6. Okay, so I guess you could say that I was on a Brad Pitt run. Meet Joe Black. This movie was recommended to me, and I don't remember who, and maybe it wasn't recommended. Maybe somebody on YouTube said they watched it, and then I just took that as an invitation to do it myself. Okay, 3-hour runtime. One thing about me, I love a long-ass movie. I want to be seated for a while. I want to go on this journey, and this movie took me on the journey. It is about a man, his daughter, and death personified. Something that probably was ahead of its time. I loved the movie. I feel like it gave me so much detail that I understood the movie so well, but it still left space for me to fill in my own blanks. And this movie was a 9 out of 10. And I do recommend. Movie number 7. She Came to Me. I was on Hulu when I got the rec, and I was like, Peter, Marissa, Anne. So here's the thing. I like this type of movie. I like it when there's different families that they're all connected, but they're not actually connected. And we get their stories like piece by piece. And in the end, like, they're all in the same room together. But what I will say is, I wish this were a little bit more connected in the end. And I'm going to still give it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I think that it deserves that. I think the acting was great, and I was genuinely entertained. But I was like, why did Anne Hathaway's character end up like that? Like, I kind of get it. Movie number 8, All of Us Strangers. So what I can say about this one is the mind is genuinely a gnarly place. This is a very psychological movie. It's a romance. It's another great LGBTQ watch. You know, I feel like in the beginning, everything was kind of laid out, and then the questions started to unfold as Paul and Adam's characters started to get closer, and then all of the connections started to plant questions in my head. But by the end, I felt like it all made sense. I think this was a really good movie, and I'm going to rate it an 8 out of 10. Movie number 9, The Watchers. Now, they had me in the first half, truly. I was all in there. But I don't know, that last 45 minutes, it was underwhelming and disappointing too. I just feel like the writing at the end got a little bit lazy. It got a little sloppy. Like, the acting was still fine. Like, the quality at the end of the movie was kind of giving like Lifetime. I didn't love it. I want to say I rated this like a 2.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So what is that, like a 5 out of 10? I gave it an easy 5 out of 10. I don't think I will be watching this movie again. But I think it's most disappointing though that I tried to get tickets to the premiere here in New York and I didn't get them. So I would have preferred to be disappointed at the premiere, but just in the regular theaters is fine. Movie number 10, Spread. This movie came out in 2009, and wow, was Ashton Kutcher really in his romance bag back then? Actually, leave a comment if Ashton Kutcher has been in anything other than a romance movie. And that includes romance action. I'm talking about, I think it's called The Killers. It was a good watch. I just feel like I've seen it before. There was, character development. I think everything made sense. I think the writing was pretty fine. There were definitely moments when I hated the way that the story was going, but in the end, he got the karma that he needed. Yeah, it was fine. Like, I think I rated this like a 3 out of 5. It's just like, I've seen this movie before. Movie number 11. This one was recommended to me, and boy, oh boy, am I glad it was. It is Thelma and Louise. Holy freaking feminism. This movie was ahead of its time. But again, this is the friendship that I want to see. This is independence that I want to see. This is hustle. And the character development that Thelma and Louise developed within like a week? Life comes at you fucking fast. Honestly, I don't know that I have a ride or die in my life right now. And that's okay. That's fine. Because I don't know that I am a ride or die at my life right now. But after watching Thelma and Louise, it put me in that vibration of wanting to be that. Movie number 12, Kinds of Kindness. I did make a review on it. Now, I will say, This is one of those movies you have to watch more than once. I didn't even leave a review on Letterboxd after I watched it the first time because I was like, what the literal fuck? You know, when things are just like very almost too artistic, I can see how the general public will be like, you're doing too much. This is not an easy story to follow. And to be honest, it is not an easy story to follow. It's so many breadcrumbs and you gotta be okay with that. I recommend it though. 8.5 out of 10 for me, genuinely, but not after the first watch. After the first watch, I would not rate it anything because I was just like, what the hell? And even if I watch it a third time, I know it will do something different for me. But the movie was pretty uncomfortable, not gonna lie to you. But have fun, you should watch it. Last but not least, A Quiet Place Day One. I reviewed it already, so I'm gonna go over it pretty quickly. This is how you do a prequel. As I said in the last video, they've taken the concept, they've changed it 10%, they changed the setting. It's not a family dynamic, they're strangers. It's the very first day, it's in the city. Did I say that already? Anyway, it's everything that we already love about the world that is A Quiet Place, and it's changed a little bit, and I think it's elevated. I think we get a new perspective from the director, we get a new cast. Like, I recommend this movie also. I think I want to rate this one like an 8.8 out of 10, genuinely. This is a good movie. Okie dokie. I think that's everything. 13 movies. I tried to give it to you rapid speed. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked anything you saw, please leave a comment, share, like, subscribe. I'm here every Sunday. Check out my book if you're interested. And I will see you back here next Sunday.